Hello, gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to take a different angle. Um, I read this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. I read it initially 4 years ago during the pandemic. It didn't resonate with me then. It was just like, whatever. And then I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who mentioned it. And I was like, I read it, but and then I reread it again and it resonated. I think at the time I just wasn't ready for it. So you're like, girl, why are you bringing up that? You're about fitness. I'm bringing it up because he talks about how habits are important, how the habits we have, the habits, good and bad, we have give us the results. Where we are right now, it's because of the habits we have. So if we're happy with where we are, we've built great habits. If we're unhappy, then we've built bad habits. And I realized that's something that usually happens with fitness. We make these goals and not just, I'm going to touch on fitness because this is a fitness channel. We create these goals of, I want to be fit, I want to lose 20 pounds, I want to lose 50 pounds. But then we don't really hit those goals because we didn't create any habits. Have you ever heard the saying, old ways don't open new doors? So we want to get the result, but we don't want to change anything else, when meanwhile we have to make changes. So while I was reading it, a lot of things that can help you can help you build healthy fitness habits kept popping into my mind, and I was like, I have to record this. So this is going to be a YouTube video. This is going to be a YouTube episode and also a podcast episode. So I'm going to make sure I kind of cross link my podcast. I'm going to share YouTube channel. I'm going to share podcast. But anyway, let's get into this. I'm going to be referring to my notes, of course. So this is talking about how tiny changes can bring remarkable results. And I think this is something we're all guilty of. When you want to lose the 20 pounds, when you want to lose the 50 pounds, you don't think of making small, tiny changes. You think it's big things. It's all or nothing approach. For example, this is one of the reasons why you decide to diet. You go from having 5, 6 unhealthy meals a day, wanting to have 5, 6 healthy meals a day. That may seem small, but that is big. That is something big. And this is why, you may not last. Similarly, if you want to start lifting heavy weights, you don't start lifting heavy weights. You have to start small and slowly work your way up. So this is something that I'm definitely going to be diving into. And of course, giving you tips on how you can build healthy habits. Because remember, it is the habits that you have, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, that is where you are. If you have a habit of going to sleep late and waking up early, that's going to tell your body to hold on to fat after a while. If you have a habit of going to sleep early and waking up early, that's a healthy habit that will help you lose fat. So, habit. What is a habit? A habit is a behavior that has been repeated enough where it's automatic, kind of like brushing your teeth and showering every day. If you don't do that every day, I don't want to know. But that's that's a habit. Similarly, eating every day. Similarly, going to sleep every day. So it's basically things that it's like it just becomes second nature. It's programmed in us to do. So it's like you don't have to think about it anymore. You simply do it, like making your bed and showering, for those of us who make our beds and shower. James states that to get a different result, we need a system. And I was like, a system? Yes, he's right. And then I started thinking about my system and some of the systems that I use to help my clients to lose belly fat. And that, when some of the women come to me during our consultation, it's like, there's no system. They just have the end results. So building the system is definitely important. So one of the biggest reasons you don't see the results is we think that it's got to be grand. It's got to be big. As I used the example before of having prime example. I had a client once when I was doing her consultation, and I was asking about what she eats, how she eats. Every meal or the meals she did have was from a fast food restaurant. So and then when I asked, what are some of the things that you've done in the past to help you lose the fat? And she's like, she'll stop eating fast food out and start cooking her meals. And I'm like, how long does that normally last for? It doesn't last long, probably a week, because she went from the all or nothing approach. Similarly, I see this circulating on social media for 30 days. No alcohol, no soda, no pop, no junk food, no processed sugar. And I'm like, your intentions may be good, but that is too much too fast and you're not going to last. So something that you can do, especially when it comes to your meals, and I'm going to talk about when it comes to working out also, when it comes to your meals, take inventory. You don't have to write it down with a pen and a paper. Use the phone. We all walk around with our phone. Take inventory of everything that you're eating. Where is it coming from? How many processed meals, unhealthy meals you're having a day? You know they're processed. You know they're unhealthy. So please don't be like, how do I know? You know. If you pull up at a drive-thru, if you order it at a takeout, if it's dropped off at your house, 99.9% chance it is unhealthy. So take inventory of the amount that you are having. Let's just say, for the week, let's simplify it. Let's just say for the day, you realize that you're having 3 meals and all 3 of them are unhealthy. None of them has the nutrients your body needs. What I would suggest is for the next 5 to 7 days, replace one of those meals. Take out one unhealthy meal and replace it with a healthy one. Homemade. Breakfast could be the one, could be lunch, could be dinner. You choose. And then the following week, replace another one. You see what's going on there? You're making small changes. And while you're taking out one thing, you're replacing the other. You're getting rid of that all or nothing approach. So as James said, you get what you repeat. And it's what you repeat 80% of the time that you're going to get. So if we get what we repeat and you want good stuff, why not repeat good stuff? Why not create good habits, right? He also goes on to say that habits are a double-edged sword. So habits can be bad and they can be good. So habits can break you down, like drinking, smoking, sleeping, not getting enough sleep, or they can build you up. Give up the alcohol and start drinking water, or start going to bed early. Give up the smoking. So it's just a matter of good habits give you good things, bad habits give you bad things. He also says goals are about the results you want to achieve. Systems are about the process that leads to the results. So let's just bring it into fitness. For example, your goal is to lose 50 pounds, right? Your system is the way you go about it. So what you eat, how you train, how much water you drink. So those are the systems that's going to get you to lose the 50 pounds. The purpose of setting goals is to lose the fat, right? And the purpose of building systems is to get you to the result of losing fat. So you want the goals. To get to the goals, you need the system. You can't get to the goals if you don't have the system. So think about it in the past, why you didn't achieve your fitness goals. Now, I've achieved my fitness goals. However, there are other aspects of my life I haven't achieved certain goals. And when I read his book, it just kind of hit home. It's like I set these goals, but I didn't have any system in place on how to achieve those goals. So I'm starting to do that now. It's like, what am I gonna do every day? Which habit am I gonna build to make sure I hit, for example, my financial savings goal at the end of the year? So how are you gonna get to your goals? Let's just say of losing 50 pounds. We're gonna start building good habits, because you gain the 50 pounds because of bad habits. So now we're going to build good habits to help you get rid of, not lose the 50 pounds, because when you lose something, you want to get it back. We want to get rid of that. We want it to be gone. Right. So some ways that you can start building habits to help with your fat loss goals is, first, you have to evaluate the bad habits you have. And sometimes you may not even be aware of some of these habits are bad. I do have a podcast episode. I'm going to make sure we put it in the description, where I talk about some of the habits you may have that's hindering you from losing, from getting rid of belly fat. So some habits, it could be not drinking enough water. It could also be not planning and preparing your meals. So something that you want to start doing is decide when you're going to start making those changes. Don't say next week. Next week has 7 days. Which one of those 7 days? So be specific. When you're going to start, are you going to start on Saturday? Are you going to start on Sunday because it's easier and it's the beginning of the week? Are you going to start on the first of the month because it's the beginning of the month? It's a brand new month. It can hold you more accountable. Do you see what I mean? Choose the when. So when you choose the when, you have to choose what you're going to do. So don't just say next week, I'm going to start building habits, better habits. Which day next week? What habit are you going to start building? Right? So everything has to be specific. And I know you're thinking this is work. Yes, it is work. And if you want the results, you have to put in a little at a time. So spend less time on social media and a little more time doing this so you can get the results you want. So something that you can do to help you start with the when and the what, James talked about habit stacking. It's basically when you already have one habit that you do automatically, add another one to it, because you got to do that one, add another one. Think about TV shows. I kind of stopped watching TV, but think about when there's a new show coming on. It is always right before, or most of the time right after an existing show. It's never two new shows back to back. That's habit stacking, because the TV execs, they know that you're going to watch that show. So you're already there. You'll stay to watch the next one. So how can you apply this to fat loss? How can you apply this to even meal prep? Let's just say you have children that you pack their lunch in the morning, right? So you decide you're going to start next Monday, and your habit is going to be having home meals. You're going to, instead of having breakfast on the road, you're going to prepare your breakfast from home. So what you're going to do is, Monday mornings, you normally prepare your children's breakfast or lunch, breakfast and lunch. Right after you do that, prepare your own breakfast, because you already prepared theirs. You're already there in the kitchen dealing with food. Prepare your own. It could also be, for example, one of my clients, this is how we did hers. In the evenings, her husband would be cleaning up and she would be preparing lunch for her children the next day. It's like you're already there with the food, so just prepare yours. Or it could be when clients work with me, when we work together for their meals, whatever they have for dinner this evening, I usually make sure they make enough for lunch the next day. It's already cooked. All they got to do is share it out. So that's one example of habit stacking. Habit stacking when it comes to working out, it could be your gym is close to your job. So right after work, you go straight to the gym. Or if you got to pass the gym to come home, right after work, before you come home, you stop at the gym, right? If you're going to be working out at home. One of my clients, what she does is after she drops her son at school in the mornings, she work at home. So she'll drop her son at school, then go to the gym, then come home, right? So habit stacking is basically adding a new habit to an existing habit. Another way of habit stacking, and I chose habit stacking because I find this is the easiest way to talk about habits and to build habits to get the results that you want. Another one with habits is, when are you going to go grocery shopping? So, grocery shopping, or do you go grocery shopping after work in the evenings? Before you go home? Because let's be honest, a lot of the times if we go home first, we're not going to want to go back out, right? So grocery shopping right after work. In terms of grocery shopping, please do not go grocery shopping on an empty stomach. I will talk about that in another episode. So let's just say you want to start working out early mornings because you're an early bird like me. You get up. What you can do is the night before, when you lay out your pajamas, or once again, when you take out your children's clothes, lay out your children's clothes, is to lay out your workout clothes from the night before. If you're going to be working out in the mornings, you could do it after you've packed your children's lunch. It could be after your morning devotion. Do you see what I mean? It's just like adding a new habit onto an existing one. And I really wanted to go at it from that perspective, because once you can start building those habits in, then that will be your system. And of course, when you already have a system, it will definitely help you to achieve your fat loss goals. A few things that I would suggest, even though you're going to be habit stacking, I would suggest that you still kind of write it down. When I started habit stacking certain aspects of my life, I got a whiteboard and I wrote it down because it was something new. Now, a lot of these things are, automatic for me. But if you're going to be habit stacking, you're going to be adding new habits, write them down. Write them down somewhere where you can actually see them, because if you can't, it's going to be useless. I hope this helped you understand the importance of system and habits for you to get to your fitness goal, whatever it is. Whether you want to get stronger, you want to have more energy, whatever your fitness goal is, this is something that can definitely help. And with that in mind, comment below which habit you're going to start and when you're gonna start it. When are you gonna start habit stacking? And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and like this video. Bye.